Hey, welcome back to PEP. Today you're in for a treat because we're going to cut to the chase and we're going to get right to the point of what really matters. And we're going to give you the top 3 things you can do to dramatically improve your health. Now, why is health so important? Well, the question sounds elementary, but many of us forget it and we get our priorities out of whack. We put work and family and friends and everything else ahead of ourselves and our own health. Well, the reality is if you don't put yourself first, and if you don't put a high value and a high priority on your own health, then guess what? Nothing else is going to matter because you're going to be 6 foot under pushing up daisies. Well, we don't want that to happen in PEP, so enjoy the following video as you learn the top 3 things that you can do right now to dramatically improve your health. And don't forget to take the validation quiz below once the video is done. Enjoy and have a healthy, happy, successful day. All right. We're going to cut right to the chase in the wellness portion today, and I'm going to share with you the 3 most important, most powerful things that you can do to impact your health immediately. Now, you're going to hear these things throughout the course of this program because it's very important. We're going to be diving in a little bit deeper into each topic, but today I'm going to give you an overview on these 3 very important things. Number 1 on the list is to think good thoughts. Now, sounds trivial, right? Think good thoughts, of course. Why would I want to think bad thoughts? But so often, we let our subconscious mind control our lives. We lose control or we lose focus on what we're actually thinking about through the day. One of the things I do, one of my checks and balances when I'm driving, particularly if I'm running late or I'm going to a big meeting or something, I will look up in the rearview mirror in the car when I'm safely stopped at a stoplight or when I'm in a position when I can, and I will see what kind of facial expression I'm carrying. And so often we don't even realize it. We may be frowning or have a scowl on our face, and we may be holding tension. So kind of think about like what you're thinking at the time and how it's impacting your physiology. So when we have thoughts, these thoughts manifest themselves physically in our body. You know, when we think of a delicious meal, what happens? Our mouth starts to water. We start to salivate. Our stomach might even rumble a little bit, right? Okay, what about a sexy thought? We see a beautiful person or something like that. We start to think, some emotional feelings come in, maybe even a little physical changes happen, right? So a scary thought keeps us on edge. Maybe it makes our pulse race. That fight or flight instinct kicks in, right? Happy thought makes us smile. And it's been scientifically proven that the very act of smiling releases hormones and endorphins in the body that change our chemical compound and can change our health. Negative thoughts release a negative stress hormone called cortisol. And cortisol triggers that fight or flight instinct. It's good in small doses. It's what allows you to get out of harm's way. It's that instant burst of adrenaline. But cortisol over a long period of time can acidify and toxify the body. But I'm going to demonstrate to you physically what it actually does to the body. So I just got some bad news. Kathy just told me that the proposal that I did for the new client we're bringing on just bombed. We're not getting the client, and now I'm under the microscope. So, oh boy. Look at my physiology. I'm hunched over, I'm tense, I'm tight, I'm thinking throughout the day, all right, what am I going to do to make good on this? How can I, it physically changes you. Now, just met the love of my life. Having a good day, that proposal went through, strutting my stuff, I'm standing upright, I'm tall, I'm proud. Changes the structure of our bodies and changes our ability to breathe. Oxygen is the most important fuel that our bodies have, and if you don't believe me, hold your breath. See how long you can hold it. You can go a lot longer without water or food than you can holding your breath, right? So cancer thrives in an oxygen-deprived environment. They've done a tremendous amount of research and found that oxygen-rich bodies are a lot more prone to cancer resistance. So I want to do a quick exercise with you guys. I want you to you just got a phone call, you got bad news from your boss or your spouse or something's going wrong. I want you to take the posture, the position that you would take at your desk right now, okay? Everybody get into that negative, stressful posture state. You don't even want to do it. Okay.
All right, everybody hunched over, everybody's stressed up. Now I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to fill your lungs in that posture, okay? Hold it for like a 3 or 4 count, and then out. One more time, in and out. All right, sit up straight. How'd that feel? Shake your arms out, break that state, different energy. Now, you just got a promotion, a raise, landed that big client, you found out you got a surprise dinner tonight or something waiting for you. Now how do you feel? I want you to sit up straight, very straight, arch that back a little bit. Now take a nice, big, deep, proud breath in. And one more time. Did you feel a difference? Did you get a little bit more air in that time? You know, it's like one of these NASCARs over here. If you take that fuel line, go into the engine, and you put a clothespin or something, and you pinched off half of it, and we're only getting half the fuel to the engine, the car's gonna get lapped real fast going around the track, right? Same thing, we're pinching off our primary energy supply there, that oxygen. So be conscious how your thoughts are affecting your physiology, and then how your physiology is affecting your energy. It kind of creates a vicious cycle. You get stressed, causes you to tense up, causes you to hunch, cuts down on your oxygen, which makes you less energetic, more depressed, and you get caught in that circle. So there's things you can do to quickly break yourself out. Stress also creates a lot of tension, physical tension in the body. We've got a chiropractor friend of mine, Dr. Ross Fialkov, in the room today. And Dr. Ross, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you get stressed and those muscles tense up, it starts to pull things out of alignment, right?
Well, yeah, especially in that posture, hunched over, right?
Right.
So that's part of it. Yeah, the first chiropractors, the biggest thing he said, which would cause misalignment of the spine or of your health, would be negative thoughts. That was number one. So
that's why it's number one on our list. So when those vertebrae or when your joints or other things get pulled out of whack by your muscles, it causes more pain. And then that pain causes more stress and more tension and lack of focus, and causes you to jump out and act out at your spouse when you get home. And then that creates a whole other set of circumstances. So everything here is interrelated, and it all starts with our thoughts. I'm going to write up four very important letters on this board. T-F-A-R. We touched on this last week. Thoughts equal our feelings. Our feelings then are our actions, some of which are subconscious, and our actions give us our results. So keep that in mind. Whatever you're thinking here is going to ultimately work its way down the chain and manifest itself here. So attitude is based on our thoughts and our feelings, and it's our attitude that creates our experiences and our opportunities in life. So a positive attitude can attract positive results, positive people, and positive opportunities. So be cognizant of your attitude as well. Number 2, hydration. Very rarely will you ever catch me without a bottle of water close within reach. Right behind oxygen, water is the number two most important element that we can put in our bodies. Water is so important to life that when NASA goes out into space looking for extraterrestrial life, you know what their number one criteria is they look for? Water in some form or fashion, whether it's vapor or ice. So water is very, very important in our physiology, right down to every last cell in our body. How many people have a house plant at home or plants in their yard? If you don't water your plant, or if it doesn't rain for a while, what happens? Plant starts to wilt, droop, turn yellow, and die, right? Now, we're much more complex than the plant. So imagine what's going on inside of our bodies. Dehydration, number one cause for headaches. Think about it. Next time you get a headache, before you reach for the aspirin and the Diet Coke to wash it down with, take a tall, cool glass of water, sit up straight, and take a deep breath. We're going to be getting into a lot of details about water in this program. We're going to explain a great depth of the physiology behind water, why alkaline water is important, why mineral-rich water is important, why you should never drink the crap from the tap, as I say. So water is going to be a recurring theme throughout the program. Oh, another thing too, Our brain often confuses thirst and hunger. As we get older, we lose the ability to discern the difference between the two. So lots of times you can naturally curb your appetite and start the weight loss process just by drinking water. And by the way, coffee, I know it has water in it, but it doesn't count. Coffee is actually a diuretic and it will dehydrate you, and we'll be covering that in great depth as well. Beer? Same problem. You know, you drink a beer and then you run into the john the rest of the night. That's because it's pulling all that water out of your system. It's dehydrating you. Number 3, most important thing is movement and exercise. We absolutely positively were not designed to be sedentary creatures. If you went back in time a couple hundred or a couple of thousand years before we had the modern conveniences we have today, typically in those periods of time, people had to work for their food. They had to go out and find it, or they had to cultivate it, or they had to hunt it. So typically the lazy people, for the most part, were the ones that were, starving to death and, skinny. Whereas the well-to-do people were, they worked very hard for their food and they were able to get it, and they were a lot healthier looking. It tends to be a reversal, unfortunately, in society today. Lots of times, the ease of our food and the processed nature and our comfortable lives have inverted that situation. So we're going to be talking about the lymphatic system and how movement helps to detoxify the lymph system and every single cell in our body. So movement is so important that this lymph system relies on that water and gravity to detox. And if you're sitting at your desk all day and you're not moving, you're stagnating and you're toxifying your lymph system. And guess what that lymph system is connected to? Every single cell in your body.